What's up, Ecuador? What's going on, Bernard? Yeah, I did a little bit more in the back. I don't know how easy that's going to be to see. Just trying to figure out all the shapes in the end product. I'm still not 100% on exactly how I'm going to make it a three-dimensional part yet. Obviously, I'll figure it out, but as of right now, I'm just trying to get the general shapes. And I was thinking of doing like a small spoiler right above the grill, because inside the grill is going to be the backlights. So I'm backlighting this entire grill with running, blinker, brake, all that. The original big fin that I had up there just to stare at, right above the grill, stuck out too far. It blocked the view. Dave, when do I think the car will be done? Hopefully next year. If you've been watching, I do all this myself on top of, I have no idea what I'm doing. So it takes a while. Almost everything you guys see me do, I'm learning to do for the first time. So designing, engineering, and fabricating. Where am I from? Idaho, USA. Anyway, so I was thinking of doing a very small spoiler over the top and then a little bit bigger one right underneath it. So it'll kind of be like, I don't remember exactly what Porsche it was, but one of the Porsches had like a double whale tail. So it had a big whale tail at the bottom, and then it had a little short one on top. Obviously way bigger than this. This is only, I think, 2 inches, 2.5 inches, and this one's 1.5 inches. And the Porsche ones came way out. They're like 12, I think 14 to the end of the whale. Thanks, Dean. The bug's coming along good. It's been slow moving, so obviously it's fall, right? Everybody knows that. But here in Idaho, it snows and it gets really fucking cold. So I've been trying to, before it gets permanently cold 24/7, I've been trying to finish up my, yearly obligations, yard work, all the stuff that we have to do before the snow hits. But I'm pretty much done with all of that now. And then on top of that, you think it was the 911 GTR3? It could have been. I don't remember. I just remember seeing pictures of one. But anyway, so I've also been taking the time, since I've been busy, finishing up the end of the year stuff before the snow. I also took advantage of the time I had left, and instead of working on my car, right, I got it cleaned up in here because it was a fucking disaster. Anytime you're fabricating, and And I've had people, okay, so I've had people that I know here that have watched my channel but never been here to my garage. And then they come to my garage and step in and they're like, wow, it's way smaller than it looks on camera. And I'm just telling you guys that, I mean, I literally have probably 2 feet around this car to work in. I mean, it's barely walking space, you know, and a lot of my fabrication I do right here on the concrete. You can see some of my layouts sharpied into the concrete or painted into the concrete, and I just, you know, squat down, get it done. But space is very, very limited in here. I mean, you can see from that tire to that sheet is 2.5 feet. So it's barely big enough for me to walk through, much less build an entire car. You know, luckily a lot of the stuff I can just attach straight to the car. But also another big chunk of it I can't. I have to build somewhere and then attach to the car. Now that said, Bernard says it was a Porsche 996 GT3 RS. Bernard, a longtime viewer, has also helped me refine some of my designs with good suggestions that he's had or ideas artistically. And he's also schooled me on some technical terms of what things are called. Because, again, I have no idea what I'm doing. I am not a professional. I just want to do it, so I get out here and figure it out until it's done, you know? Bernard says, since the bottom of the whale tail obscures the lights to some degree, why not just polish the underside of the top one so the top one reflects the light? Because reflecting the light is not the issue. Visually seeing the light is, because the car is so low to the ground. These lights are only 30 something inches off the ground. Yeah, exactly 3 feet off the ground is the light. So you imagine if you're in a car behind me or on the side of me, those lights are only 3 feet off the ground. In most cases, unless you're in a small compact car, if you're in a truck and that top whale tail is too big, you won't see my lights at all. And I see that as a potential issue because I don't want anybody rear-ending my hand-built car. So we're gonna find a way around it. By we, I mean me and maybe some of you. If you have any suggestions, like Bernard is always full of ideas, which I appreciate very much. Yeah, it's aired all the way down, but when it lifts up, it's inches. So you know, it might be, you know, 40, 42 inches off the ground. It's still not much. So I'm just trying not to obscure the lights as much as possible, but keep the artistic design flowing through the car. Rage said maybe build a light bar into the tail. See, I thought about that. The problem is I don't want to be able to see the tail lights. I want it to look like it has no lights until the lights turn on, and then I want it backlit, because you don't ever see that. You know, again, it's something different, unique, strange even, you know. So, but I have considered that, especially for a third light, you know, up top. Typical all new cars have a third light, safety, you know, in case your tail lights go out. They're wired different, so the third light will still work. And I might backlight the top visor too. I don't know yet. What about something similar to a plate light? Like one that points down so that you don't see it? Is that what you're saying? So here in Idaho, we don't have a lot of regulations. I've said it a billion times. When it comes to custom cars, we're pretty free. And you can pretty much do whatever you want. I mean, I was driving down the road the other day after work and passed somebody chopped a Dodge Caravan into like an open truck bed seating arrangement, like an old K5 Blazer where the top would come off, and they're just cruising down the freeway. You know, it's not a big deal here. As long as you have lights, you're pretty much good. What did you do to your head? Where? Eli, you want to walk around? Again, it's very small in here. What's up, Germany? Yeah, Eli, you like that? Light bar facing down, built into the rear spoiler. Yeah, that's that a light strip. Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. There'll already be two light strips inside the grill pointing down, but adding an extra one outside, I don't think that could hurt at all. Not bad. But I'm also trying to figure out how to tie all this stuff in, right? So it has to flow. So I think part of what I'm going to do is let's get this rear fender in here. All right. So I'm still going to put a 1.5 inch roughly vertical tapered lip on the outside of this fender, right? Because right now it just comes straight down and it's a piece of round rod. There's no finished edge, okay? But this is what I would like to do, is do a tapered vertical lip. See if we can get you closer. So we can kind of see what's going on here. All right, so a tapered vertical lip like this. In doing that, I also think that I'm going to add a rib that's gonna stick up right here on the front. So it'll actually be raised. Let's see. It'll actually be raised up like that. But obviously it'll tie in to the fender, you know, at a 45 or whatever. So to give it a nice spine. Southern mofo. What's going on? So I'll have this raised spine right here. That's also going to be like a triangle, you know, wide base pointing at the top. And then I think I'm going to do the same here on the edge so that everything's even and matches. And then when I do that, I'm also going to add that spine to this edge right here. Because right now this is really flat. And it doesn't look bad, and with Bodywork and everything, the fact that this is so flat and sticks out so far, I doubt will be that noticeable. And I just think that a raised rib that'll fade from, you know, 0 to like an inch on that side, just a little spine right here on the edge, just sticking up, I think will accentuate it better. Plus the raised rib here will tie into the raised rib on the buttresses and the raised rib on the fender lip. So everything will match and flow. That's the idea anyway. You know, we'll see what happens. What's up, James? Thanks for the follow. Also, while everybody's in here, I got a lot of pushback for making my fenders that way, for flat paneling them with raised ribs, like an umbrella is the best way that I can describe it, right? For not rolling them out on an English wheel and, you know, all that stuff. Here's the thing. I'm going to say it again. I have no idea what I'm doing. Okay? I just figure it out. At the time, with my skill set, tools, everything, that was the best I could come up with to reach the end result I was trying to get. Okay? Building this is all problem solving. That's all it is. Engineering is all problem solving. If you do this, then this happens. Is that what you want to happen? No. So then do something else. Okay? I'm not a professional. I do this for fun. And I learn daily. My skills now are better. I still don't think that I could, without more practice, because I haven't had any, roll out a whole fender. But I know now what it takes to do that, which is more than I knew before. So now I'm going to figure out how to do that. I'm leaving these the way that they are because they're already done. I'm not going backwards. You know, I'll roll fenders on the next car, whatever. But the side buttresses that I want to build, I think could benefit from curving the steel and rolling it out on an English wheel. So there you go. There's an English wheel. No idea how to use it. I mean, a general, you know, you can look it up on YouTube or whatever. I've researched it. I think I have a good base of how it functions and what needs to happen. Now, I'm just going to have to practice actually using it to make it do what I want it to do. Just like the bead roller. You know, when I got the bead roller, never used one before. And I made these louvers. That was the first time ever using it. Granted, it took me 4 louvers, 4 of those before I got this one. So it took me 4 tries before I figured out how to make it do what I was trying to make it do. But I'm really excited to figure out how to roll these panels. A lot of it's going to be flat paneling, but especially this part from fender to body. I could flat panel it. I know how to do that. I'd cut it in smaller strips so the gaps, I learned from flat paneling this. These should have been like 2.5 to 3 inch strips with ribs. Now that would have also added more weight because you would have had to add more ribs to support it. But knowing what I know now about flat paneling things, if this wasn't done and I was to do it right now, I would make these way smaller strips. Grind the rest out and float it, and it'd be a lot less body filler. But I'm gonna try and curl these panels and make that in one piece. What's up, Scotland? Monaco. So I just cleaned up shop today, rearranged a bunch of stuff. I had my dresser and filing cabinets with consumables and all that. I moved it over there. I moved some of that stuff out to the shed, and I ended up with enough room for the English wheel. It's just the camera perspective. I'm using my front camera, so everything's backwards. Yeah, you had to make a bonnet in one day. Yeah. Again, I have no idea how to use this, but I'll figure it out. What's up, Germany? Hamburg, Germany. Yeah, so I know there hasn't been a lot of, or any really, new videos in the past couple weeks. Like I said, finishing up the end of the year chores and things that have to happen, and getting the shop cleaned up and making room for the English wheel, so I can start learning how to roll panels. What's up, Genuine Junk? It's a good name, by the way. Buddy Reed, what's going on? He says the Berzerker project is looking good. Thank you. No, I don't speak German. English only. Is the project for me or a customer? It's for me. This is to showcase my talent so that I can hopefully get customers and open a shop. You got genuine junk across your bug's windshield? What is it? It's what's left of a 1967 Volkswagen Beetle. Can I explain how the door snugs in? Yes, I can. So, the way the hinge works is it swings on two axes. So it swings out, and once it swings out, it clears a stop, and then the door can swing up. So it pivots on 2 points. I made this faux panel and attached it to the hinge itself so that it would tuck in to avoid any body seams. Also, what that did is that allowed me to move the pivot point back, because most Lambo doors, aftermarket, not on actual Lambos, but Lambo doors that you put on other cars, right? The door barely cracks open and then only goes up halfway. So you have to squeeze and crawl into your car. I did not want to do that. So I moved the pivot point back by cutting the whole quarter panel out of the car and restructuring it. So now the door opens halfway. Instead of barely opening, the door opens half of its full factory swing, okay? And you could still get in there. I mean, I can. If you were bigger than me, maybe not, but I can still get in there. Okay, so just to make it do that, I had to move that pivot point back. Then I had to hide the hinge. On top of hiding the hinge, there are adjustment bolts, set screws, grub screws, mounting hardware. All that has to be accessible from the outside of the car. So I had to make that faux panel removable so that I can remove it to get to the mounting hardware and adjustment screws. Okay, so now you can see the door swings open. See the hinge? And then goes up. And it is gas shock assisted. You can see it right there from the inside. Let's get a good look at it. There you go. Here's the gas shock. So you have to swing the door open and lift about, I'm just guessing, like 30%, and then the shock will take over and lift the door the rest of the way. Do I have any three-phase machines? No, I don't. And you can see the bracket and gusset that I made, and it bolts right to the hinge. So I can take these two bolts off right here, and this whole panel pops off. So I can get to the mounting hardware. Then on top of that, the reason why I went with louvers, there's also a removable screen back here. So I hand fabricated this. I built this. Okay? Because when the doors open, there's a stop screw that's inside there that controls how far the door swings out so that it doesn't hit the body. I can get an Allen key, a long one, and reach in there and adjust that through the louver. I also did louvers to hide this seam. And not really hide it, but take your focus off of it, because this gap has to be here. Has to be here for the door to open. So I made more gaps just so you wouldn't notice this gap. And now it's, you know, an artistic piece, right? And then I built the screen because, see, you can see right into the front trunk through the louvers. It's wide open. It's a 1-inch gap or a 3/4 inch gap. And you can just see right in there, and that's where the air tank for the airbags and, you know, gas tank and all that stuff's going in there. I don't want to see that. So the outside of the body is going to be sprayed with satin black truck bed liner, and then this screen will be sprayed purple. The electric purple accents that I have on the rest of the car, you can see some of them up there. And the inside, everywhere this blue is, will be purple inside. Anyway, this will be purple. It obstructs your view when that snaps in. So when you look through the louver, you'll just see a purple screen instead of all the hardware in the front trunk. I wanted it to all look like one piece. Seeing that just snaps in. Seams are your enemy, okay? They're mine. They're extremely hard to fabricate. They're complicated, and they're even harder to hide. So, because I'm not a professional that can just fabricate door jamb seams, and I mean, I could with enough time, but I'm not proficient and efficient at it. So I try to avoid them the best way that I can. Have I structured the A pillar? Yes. Let me climb in here. So I don't know how good you can see it, but it's fully boxed in sheet metal and plate, and then it's reinforced on the backside here and on the inside here to restructure, because I had to cut out like 50% of it to clear the hinge. But yes, it is restructured, reinforced, boxed in, done. Obviously, again, everything is tack welded. Nothing's fully welded unless the next piece that I added is going to be in the way of me welding it. Then obviously I have to fully weld it before I add the next piece. But past that, I'll fully weld the entire body once it's done. Because MIG welding creates a lot of heat. So it's not a isolated heat zone. So you can only weld little bits at a time as you go. So if the entire car is tacked, I'll be able to jump around from the front left to the back right, to the front right, to the back left, to the middle, to the center, to the front, to the back. You know, all of that without distorting any of my metal work. How fast are you projecting for that thing to be done? I hope to be doing bodywork and paint next summer. Ideas, Tuck 22 wants to know. So then ideas for the inside as far as hiding or incorporating it with the interior. Uh, as far as this goes, this is done. I mean, it'll be painted and body worked, of course. But this is hiding it. This is done. Um, the interior itself, it'll be black carpet, maybe velvet. I'd really like to do velvet, but we'll see. Some of the roof behind the sunroof, because this is a factory hand crank sunroof up here, and it tucks into this pocket right here when it goes back. But behind it, behind that pocket to the back window, I'm going to be cutting that whole roof out because I'm raising the roof up and adding a snorkel up here on top. And it has to be able to breathe to get rid of condensation, moisture. But on top of that, I'm going to have to be able to paint the backside to prevent rust. You know, I'm going to have to seal it. So I'll be cutting a huge hole in the back. So from the inside, I'll be able to get in there and seal it all up. And then a headliner will go in and hide that. Snows were at 22. You see my stuff on YouTube? Yeah. I'm on YouTube, TikTok, soon to be Twitch. I'm trying to figure out this multi-stream app. I'm pretty computer illiterate, so it's taking some time, but I'll get it figured out, and then I can live stream on multiple platforms from one phone. Right now, I use two phones, and I stream on TikTok and YouTube at the same time. And I post videos on both. What motor am I putting it in it? I'm building a 2276 stroker air-cooled Volkswagen engine mounted in the back where it goes. So I was taking a spin earlier to see what this visor would kind of look like, and it's gonna look really good, really good. I was just kind of setting it up here, getting the curve down. I mean, you can see from different angles. This sometimes helps with the envisioning. I think if I can pull it off, it's going to be badass. No, the camera's backwards. See my shirt? It's backwards. Damon Mack, how many hours a week am I able to dedicate to this project? On average, 8 hours a week, you know? Family, work, everything else. I would love nothing more than to be able to do this full time. But we gotta eat, you know? Gotta buy tools. That's why I'm hoping after this is done, I'll really be able to show off what I can do and hopefully get clients to where I can jump into it full time. Yeah, Damon Mack, I just got that today. I just cleaned up the garage and put that together today. So hopefully there'll be even cooler shit coming. No idea how to use it. Never used one. But again, I'll just figure it out. If everybody would just get out there and figure it out, a lot more shit would get done. A lot of people are too scared to fail. You know? They just really are. They're so scared to fail that they won't even try. And it's sad. Just get out there, figure it out, get it done. If you fail, do it again. And then again, and again, until you don't. Can I read your name? No. All this is self-taught. I have no formal training or background in fabrication, engineering, designing, wiring, plumbing, anything when it comes to a car. My normal day job, I am a journeyman electrician. All of this I've just figured out. Yeah, Damon Mack says he agrees. I'd never TIG welded before. I saved up, bought one, and taught myself. Good for you. Good for you. And it means more when you earn it. You know what I'm saying? When something's handed to you, it's not as internally satisfying, right? You might get some kind of gratification out of it, but it's not satisfying. At least not for me. Adam, what kind of car is that? It is a highly modified 1967 Volkswagen Beetle. No, it is not a diesel, it's a gas. Travis, yo, my man, let's tokenize that and issue a NFT. I don't know what that means. How's the cup holding up? What's up, Uncle Brad? This cup, still broken. I bought another one, and whoever made it put the handle on the right side, so it's for a left-handed person. So it's sitting on the sink. Belly was doing karate in the living room, kicked it off the coffee table, and it broke the handle right here. But it's holding together, so for now. Daniel, I once burnt my beard while grinding. Yeah, don't do that. That sounds horrible. Do I have the same problem? No. I don't shoot sparks at my beard, and if I'm in a tight position, I put it in a bun so that it's behind my shield. I'll miss you too, Uncle Bro. Move down here to Idaho, and I won't have to miss you. I will. I'll tell them when they get back. They're at a birthday party right now. Yeah, USA. Idaho, USA. What motor? This is going to be a conversation piece for years to come. Thank you. I'll be building the 2276 stroker. What's up, Bali? Joe, what's the rear rim and tire combo? So that is a 325 5015 in the rear, and it's a Nito track tire. So it's a DOT approved slick, so it has a small tread in it. And the rim is a 15 by 13, I think, or it might be a 15 by 15. I went through two sets of them trying to find the right combination, but I think that's the skinnier one. The other one was a 15 by 15, but you can't find tires for it that would clear the body, unless you buy Ferrari tires, which are like $2,000 a piece, and I wasn't doing that. You're gonna have this at the 2025 SEMA, definitely an art piece. I've had a lot of people say that. SEMA is definitely a dream of mine. I see what they put in SEMA. I don't build that fancy. I don't build so you can stick a mirror under and everything's polished and all the air hoses are symmetrical and all of this. I do more of a dirty, clean, like polished rat rod style is what I like. But definitely, I would love to go to SEMA. I really would. It's diggy. Just got back from it this year. It's definitely better than a lot of the cars that were there. Thank you. Thank you. very much. I really appreciate that. I try to build different, cool, kind of gothic, um, battle style. I don't know. I have a very specific way that I like things to look and style when building, that is unlike anything I've seen. I take bits and pieces of all types and genres, all my favorite parts, and somehow am able to mash them into one car. I've just now been starting to get clips in my reel of SEMA and checking out some of the stuff. They got some impressive stuff, really, really fancy. Tons and tons of money. Yeah, yeah, it will definitely stick out. I hope so. I hope to go to SEMA. Um, it would definitely be an excellent platform for people to see me, you know? Because if you don't go, then you watch videos about it. I mean, if you're a car guy, we all do, you know? I just realized your name was Forrest Dump. His dude's name is Forrest Dump. That's hilarious. Do you what? Genuine junk. Do you or have you had other Volkswagens? Okay, so yes, I have another Volkswagen. I am not a Volkswagen guy. I didn't start out that way. I bought this and fell in love with it and am turning into a Volkswagen guy. But this is the first car I've ever built. Okay. I've built motorcycles. I've built, I mean, quite a few custom bikes. I mean, full chops, stretches, hardtails, everything. And it evolved into this. There's a lot more artistic real estate on a car versus a motorcycle. After you build so many motorcycles, they're all the same. There's nothing else you can do to them. I mean, there is, but it's still pretty much the same, right? So it just evolved into cars. But I just bought a 1982 Volkswagen Rabbit diesel four-door that I want to do a full body on. I want to modify the entire body. This, I've modified pretty much the entire body. But on the Rabbit, I want to cut the whole outer skin off and make my own. This I've kind of added to and modified the outer skin because there is no inner skin because it's a one stamp body. But the Rabbit, and it's a little bit square, so I think those shapes are going to be fun versus the round. Because I try to get a combination of round shapes with square edges to get a good blend. Artistically, I just think it looks good. But the all square on that Rabbit, I think, is really gonna pop. Dark Side of the Lord, how much would you charge for a car and how much for a truck? That just depends on what needs to be done, you know? I really don't have a number for you. Wish I did. How long has it taken you to get where you are? Patrick Sieber. As far as what? To know what I know, to be able to do this? 7 years. I just started rebuilding engines and fabricating a lot 7 years ago. I've always repaired and fixed things, but I never went all the way in, you know, to a complete engine tear down rebuild. And then from there, it went to fabricating. I tore down my first engine, motorcycle engine, granted, very simple engine, but I tore my first one down just to see if I could build it. And I did, and it was surprisingly easy. So I tore down a more complicated motor and another, it just progressed into this. Thanks, King Boo. Kevin says, hi, can you give me work? No, I can't. I do this for fun, not for work. Hopefully someday. You have a BMW 530D at launch is a little sluggish. No, I can't help you with that. I don't know anything about BMWs. Daniel Braun, you're good. He says, I'm just motivated. I like your projects. No, that's what we're here for. Ask questions. I'll answer them, you know, to the best of my ability. If I don't have an answer for you, guess what? You're not getting one. I mean, it's that simple. But I am not in any way easily offended or, you know, whatever. Ask away. If I have an answer, you got it. What's the beast behind you? This is what's left. Street style airbag, disc brake. It'll be a big engine for a Volkswagen. It'll be a big engine. Lambo doors. Tons of modifications. Wide body. Open fenders in the front. 16-inch wide track slicks in the back. Ken Schwartz, did I get the English wheel set up? Guess what I did today? I cleaned the fucking garage and got it set up. Which means I did not get to work on my car, but sacrifices, you know. Noah Hedinger, drinking horn, 16 ounce. So yeah, Ken, it's set up. It still needs to be tuned. You know, I gotta perfectly align the wheels and the run out and all that and get it dialed in. One thing I was not impressed with, and I'm not sure if it's going to be an issue. I mean, mechanically, to me, from an engineering standpoint, I think it's going to be an issue, but then I don't understand why they designed it to do that. So maybe it's not, but I've never used one, so who knows. Anyway, can I get a walk around of the bug? Dan Cash, yes you can. Hold on 1 second, bud. Anyway, so this bottom wheel stands, right? It comes up on this pillar, right? So you can adjust height. Well, the way that this cradle attaches is there's a grub screw in the front, and there's just a ring collar on the shaft. So the wheel does this. And again, I have no idea what I'm doing, and I've never used one. But to me, from my understanding of how it functions and what it does, these should be stationary, fixed at all times. Uh, Otherwise, you can't track your path, and tracking your path to control runout is mandatory. So I don't know why they would have one set screw on a ring collar and allow this wheel to do this. Maybe it's just a shitty design. I don't know. If I have to weld it in place, once I get it dialed in, I will, and then it won't move. But the rest of the machine is super solid. There's no flex, no shaking, it sits level. It's super heavy. I think this is 180 pounds. And for a 28 inch throat, it's stout, really stout. So I'm gonna have to look into it more. It's also got some kind of cam on this lever that will adjust the pitch, and I don't know why you would need to do that. But I'll figure it out. Daniel Braun, it's for the Z forming the metal. What does that mean? Have I ever used a forge? No. Let me give this guy a walk around real quick. Dan Cash. 1967 Volkswagen Beetle. The front beam's been stretched 10.5 inches, dropped 4 inches, full air ride all the way around. The front wheelbase has been widened 6 inches, and the rear 12 inches. The tires on the back are 16 inches wide, sidewall to sidewall, track slicks, hand fabricated wide body, reverse hinge front hood. To make room for the Lambo door hinges, hand fabricated louvers, and faux quarter panels, 10.5 inch vented visor, hood scoop to hide the headlights. So I'm going to be hiding the headlights inside there. I got micro 1.5 inch spotlights that are going to go in there, 4 on each side. And then of course, everybody's favorite, mine included, the Lambo doors. Brake vents, everything's purple backlit. Now I'm working on fabricating and widening the rear quarter 6 inches and raising the roof up 2.5 inches, adding a rear visor over the window and a double whale tail. Okay, Daniel. That makes sense. So you would actually have to raise the sheet up. To stretch it. Okay. Yeah, Dan Cash. It's getting there, you know. Labor of love, work in progress. This is 15 months of fabrication, but I started from the ground up. The front beams completely rebuilt, modified, painted, all that. The underneath, the floor pans have been redone, sealed, painted. It does not have a rubber undercoat yet. When the car's completely done, I'm going to take it to a friend's house who has a lift, and I'll lift it and spray the underneath. But it's all ready. The heat and soundproof is in. The transmission, I got a Pro Street built tranny to handle the 200 horsepower 2276 air cooled Volkswagen engine I'm putting in there. How fast do you think it'll fly down the road? That I don't know at all. But the power to weight ratio is insane on the car. The car will weigh less than 2,000 pounds and have around 200 horsepower. So it'll be a quick car. Not retardedly fast, but quick for sure. Lee Willie, what's up? Big Red, thank you. Hey, tomorrow I'm going to figure out some more of these shapes to raise and widen this whole rear end and the visor. I think I'm going to drop it. Or actually raise it up. I think I'm going to raise it up right here. Another 1/2 inch. Just small, tedious stuff. Big Red, scoops for the engine or just adding size? Adding size aesthetically, because I went so wide with these 16-inch wide tires that they stick out like Dumbo ears. So I'm trying to bulk up the body to even out the proportions and give it, you know, obviously artistic flair so that it looks cool. But I'll be running open engine bay. TikTok just flagged me for what? Hate speech? What the fuck? So dumb. I haven't heard any hate speech. But yeah, so the whole rear of the car was chopped off. I cut the floor out, the sides, everything, the firewall for the trunk right there, depending on what camera, but right there is still intact, but the rest of it's gone. Big Red says they flag him for everything that they can, so you're not alone. Thanks. It's just weird. I mean, flag me for actually doing something. How about that? Can I see all the back of it? It's very small in here, so it's hard for me to show you the back, but give it a shot. Yeah, see, I can't get farther away than that. Did I ever get... I don't know why you're bringing up old shit. No, I didn't get the bolt out of the heater channel. Hopefully the engine will be loud enough I'll never notice it rattle. Nah, it's still in there somewhere. If it does get annoying, then I'll get my... I got one of those, you know, those cameras on the wire that I can stick down in there with a grab claw and try and get it out. It's not here, it's at my pop's house, but no, thanks for reminding me. I just went and bought more bolts the other day too for the other door, because it was one of the bolts that holds this panel on that I dropped down in there. Yeah, let her stay. Oh, it's staying for now until it annoys me, and then it's coming out. If I gotta cut that heater channel open to get it out, we'll see what happens. Am I making a different designed hood or bonnet? For the rear, no. The rear is going to be open engine. I'm going to try to accentuate the opening with a small double whale tail. Two spoilers, 1.5 inch one above the grill and a 2.5 to 3 inch below the grill. And then this whole corner, you can see how it sweeps in right here. All this will be sheet metal. What's up, Russia? How fast am I trying to go? So on paper, the numbers for the engine is, I think, 11.5 second on a stripped down bug. So I don't really care how fast I go. I have no desire to do 120 in a soda can with no roll cage or seat belts, but the option is there. It's the torque that I'm after. I want to pull off the line. I want to do the burnouts, you know, all that stuff. I don't really care about going fast for a long period of time. So we'll pull off the line, light to light, you know, have some fun. Thanks for sharing the live, Big Red, and reminding me about that bolt. Sophina Stockwell says, nice beard. Shame about the coloring on the head. You don't like it, don't look at it. It's that easy. I like it, and I look at it every day. This is what's left of a 1967 Volkswagen Beetle. Highly modified. Yeah, Chris Knight, you know, everybody's different, and that's okay. I happen to enjoy tattoos very much, so I get them. If you don't enjoy them, don't get them. If you don't want to look at them, guess what? Look away. Empower, what engine? Always the question. I'll be building a 2276 stroker air-cooled Volkswagen engine mounted in the back where it goes. Thanks for the gift. Both of you guys, I appreciate it. What are the meanings of the runes? I also want rune tattoos. The runes on my face are bind runes. For an easy explanation, even though in modern understanding it sounds kind of ridiculous, they're magic. So you get bind runes to make things happen, right? So one of them is for mental and physical fortitude, and the other one is for success and prosperity. Does anything increase airflow? As far as what, Daniel? Or not Daniel, Thomas? How much time do you think is left to finish the project? Realistically, I'm going to say 12 to 15 months. Rambler 47, what's up? Thanks for stopping by again. I haven't done anything the past couple weeks. I've been finishing up all the, fall chores before the snow here. Getting everything buttoned up, cleaned up, because once the snow hits, it just sucks. So, getting all that done, getting the shop cleaned up, and I'm glad I did, because I realized today when I was rearranging for the English wheel that I just got that I'm out of 20 gauge steel. So I got to go get that before the snow, because I don't have an enclosed trailer, and if I have to go get it in the snow, it's just going to be a rusted sheet. So I got to go grab that in the next week or two, go pick up a couple full sheets, so that I can do the back of the car. Chris Knight in SoCal, nice and warm down there, ain't it? Not around here. Mornings are below freezing here already. It warms up in the afternoon, to like 45, 55 degrees, which after, 20-degree mornings, it feels like summer. Yeah, Bernard's got to service his snow blower after church tomorrow. Yeah. It's that time of year. Hunter Hines says you do great fab work. Thank you. Really appreciate it. Again, I have no idea what I'm doing. I just figure it out. I am not a professional, but it gets done. I understand how things work and what needs to happen, and make a lot of mistakes and learn from them quickly. So starting from zero, it goes pretty quick. I mean, considering I'm starting from, I'm sure the next car will be faster and more complicated and, all of that, because it's just been progressing and evolving into harder and harder things and bigger things every year. Oh, Clark work. I'm guessing you're running duct work from your hood scoop to the rear for air cooling. No, I'm not. The engine bay is open. It has all the air it needs. It is not enclosed. It's completely exposed. The hood scoop is for aesthetics. On top of it's where I'm hiding the headlights. I'm putting 4 micro spotlights in each side of the hood scoop, and that's going to be my headlights shining forward. So it's both form and function. It's just not functioning for air. It's hiding headlights. Big red, but all the little final details and finishing touches are slow and can be a pain to get through. Yes, that's the worst part. This is the easy part. Even though this isn't easy, it's the easiest out of all of it, you know. And when it comes to fabricating and designing and engineering, making something and making it function is not hard. It's hiding it and making it enjoyable to look at or pleasing to the eye afterwards. That's what I've learned anyway. It's easy to make a door open like that, but it's hard to make it not look like garbage, you know. It's hard to hide it afterwards. And that goes with everything else. You know, wiring, with gauges, with switches, I mean, just everything. Doing it's not hard. And if you want it to be, you know, simple and not super artistic or really clean or whatever, then it's quick and easy. No big deal. Attach this to that and it does this. Then game over, you know. But I like to hide everything. I want it to be enjoyable to look at, not pieced together in the end. So trying to figure out how to hide it. Lately, as I get more into fabricating this body, I'm realizing finishing edges, like the ends of panels of stuff, is really hard, especially when you're making a three-dimensional piece where you can see both sides of the piece. What does that edge look like, you know? And trying to figure out how to make that edge, I've been struggling with. I have ideas and I'm going to try them and we'll see how it turns out, you know, but that's really, you know, slapping a panel up there ain't no big deal, but how do you finish all the edges of it, you know? Some round rod here, some, you know, flat paneling, squared edge here, and, you know, this and that. And I mean, I know a few ways to do it, but as the body gets more complicated and complex, I'm finding it harder and harder to hide the edges. But again, I'll just keep stabbing at it until I figure it out, you know? One piece at a time. And if it looks like garbage, I'll cut it off and do it again. It'll just prolong the finish date. Imperfections are beauty marks. I agree. To a point, building a car, I think people get hung up on, you know, you have to have, you know, seamless welds and everything has to be perfect and smooth. And while there are plenty of people that can build you a raw metal without seeing any weld seams, entire car from sheet metal, from flat sheet metal, I'm not one of those guys. I'll hide it, I'll grind it, I'll paint it, I'll body fill it, you know, whatever. There's dozens of ways to not have to worry about your sheet metal work being perfect. Would I like to be able to seamlessly weld an entire car body and hand fabricate it so you can't tell that it's welded? Absolutely, you know, and maybe someday I'll get there. Right now I'm not there. So I'll find a way around it. I'll figure it out. Fabrication is really good. I'm self-taught, so I agree. There are many ways to make it work. Yeah, there's tons of ways to make it work, you know? Could it always be better? Absolutely. And I think even the top, you know, metal fabricators that can do amazing things still look at their work and say it could be better. And that's fine. So get better. You know, it just takes time. Time, practice, dedication. Chris Knight says we all start somewhere. Yeah. Yeah, we do. You know, you don't know something until you know. And the only way you're going to know is if you figure it out. Practice, do it over and over and over again, you know, constantly try to level up and elevate, which is what brought me here. Yeah, Big Red. Always room to grow, no matter how good you are. Yeah, anybody that says that they know it all, um, and are perfect and don't need to learn anymore can stay away from me. That is a closed-minded individual. Did you chop the roof? No. I added a 10.5 inch vented visor, so it gives it the chopped look without sacrificing headroom. So all the factory glass will also go back in. You can see the visor right there. See where it's welded in. And then I raise this up and cut the underneath out so it has full airflow up the windshield, under the visor, over the roof. Yeah, it keeps it from being a giant parachute. When I originally put the visor on, I did not vent it. And then after weeks of staring at it, I was like, uh-oh. That's a giant parachute. How are we going to fix that? And so I popped it up. Yeah, sunroof's functional. It's a factory hand crank Volkswagen sunroof. I don't know if this will go up any higher. No. Let's see. I'll go to the other side and crank it open for you. Thanks for the gift. Green gears. I appreciate it. Camera's flipped, Big Red. I'm using my front camera so I can read your guys' comments, so it's a mirror image. When did I start on it? 15 months ago, give or take. Just the last couple months I've been getting, on TikTok where it sends you the, this day last year, this was the video you posted, and it's the beginning of the build. So, what's up, Joe? So it's a year and a half, give or take, that I've been working on it. But again, I don't do this full time, so it averages out maybe 8 hours a week. But sometimes I don't get to work on it for 2 weeks, but then I'm in here for 30 hours that weekend, or whatever. Michael Oakley, what's going on? Yeah, I definitely move through it when I do have time out here. But the thing is just because I'm not physically out here building the car 24/7, if I am awake, working anything, I am mentally building the car. So it makes... You knew me as Diesel. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So I'm mentally building the car. I can piece things together in my mind and see if they're going to work. I don't always have a finished, very specific, super clear way of it looking, but as far as how it's going to work, I can do that. And then as I build it, I make it look good. No, you're good, Michael. I was just trying to place you. And I'm a, one track type of guy, focus on one thing at a time. But you're good. At a funeral, huh? Whose funeral? Trying to think of the last funeral I even went to. It's definitely been a while. Row, huh? Think you might have me confused for somebody else. But that's all right. No, you're good. Yeah, so I think tomorrow I'm gonna try and figure out some more of the shapes and spacing for the widening of the rear end. I mean, much won't get done, mostly just envisioning it, the building of parts, the quick part, getting everything to be proportionally correct is the hard part. So I'll do all the designing first, that takes the longest, and then I'll fabricate it. And then hopefully get to use the new English wheel over there and roll out some side panels. We'll hit them on the sandbag and roll them out smooth. I mean, the YouTube videos make it look easy, so we'll see how hard it is. Yeah, Big Red. I got that as soon as you mentioned the bolt in my heater channel. But I'm going to get off here for now. I'll be live again in the morning like usual. So stop by, say hi. Thanks, Dante. I'll see you guys later.